Hi everyone, Emily here from Emily Reads, and today I have for you my April pile of possibilities. So in April, I'm going to be participating in Old School April. It's a readathon sponsored by Kelsey over at Slimes and Slashers. And the reason why I chose to do this is there are tons of prompts. There are tons of reading prompts. There are tons of activity prompts. There are tons of like watching or listening to prompts. And so there's just a great deal of flexibility and it's nostalgic. So hence why I've got my 80s vibes going on in my 8675309 shirt and side ponytail that I normally don't wear. But that's why I decided to do this. All of the prompts, the books that I'm choosing fit within the prompts, not only for the readathon, but then also my yearly goals. So without further ado, let's get started. This is always subject to change. It's a pile of possibilities, so we shall see. First up that I would like to read is Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys, I think is how you pronounce her name. And this, all I really know about it is that this is historical fiction, and it is set in Lithuania. So it's when like the Soviet Union invades Lithuania, I believe, and involves the secret police and getting shipped to Siberia. I've heard phenomenal things about this, so it's been on my TBR for quite some time. And the prompt that I'm going to use for this is Pretty in Pink, which is read a book with a color in the title. And then for 52 Book Club, I think the prompt that this fits is it's set in a landlocked country. And then I plan on reading Muse the Nightmare by Lanny Taylor. And this is, Muse of Nightmares by Lanny Taylor. And this is book 2 in the Strange the Dreamer duology. And I've read Strange the Dreamer around this time last year, so hopefully I remember it because I don't plan on rereading it. And so this just is going to pick up our story with Laszlo and Sarai. And this prompt that I'm using this for is The Goonies, which is read a middle grade or a YA book. And then I have 2 Jim Butcher short stories, anthologies, set in the world of the Dresden Files. And I have 5 stories that I need to read before I can read Turncoat. So I hope to do that. And I was really glad to see that Old School April, one of the prompts is reading a short story, because most readathons is read a book. So I was super excited that I could fit in some short stories on a readathon. And I can use mini-me / short circuit is the prompt, and that is read a short story. And then I plan on reading A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. This is the first in a duology. I don't know too much about it. Has to do with music and enchantments and a couple that are once childhood enemies but now unwilling partners. So it sounds like that these Tamerlane girls are getting kidnapped and they're working together to get these girls back. I don't know. I loved Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows, so I wanted to read more by Rebecca Ross. And the prompt that I plan on using this for, I mean, you could use music related because one's a bard, and obviously we've got this harp on the cover, but also you can use it for Willow, which is read a fantasy novel, or I plan on using this for Ferngully, which is features nature on the cover. For sure, A River Enchanted, nature. And then I don't have this fit in yet with the readathon. I do plan on either reading or listening to Warrior Girl Unearthed. This would be a reread for me. It's by Angeline Boulley. And my book club that I'm a part of, we plan on reading this. And so this is about, this takes place like 10 or 15 years after the events in Firekeeper's Daughter. And this follows Perry Firekeeper Birch. And she was a little kid in Firekeeper's Daughter. And now she's taking on a summer internship and she's working at a museum. And she learns, and I cannot remember, there's a law. And I cannot remember the name of the law. So I'm glad I'm rereading this so I can learn the name of the law. But there's a law that deals with Native Americans being able to take back from museums their ancestors' remains and burial objects and to bury them properly. And that's just not happening. She learns about this law as her internship is at their local museum. And so I really enjoyed it the first time around. I'm hoping it holds up. And I mean, I could use this for the Goonies, middle grader YA. So that's the nice thing, is that you can reuse your prompts for this readathon. And then lastly, I hope to tackle Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. And I was planning on reading it last month in March. And after reading Count of Monte Cristo, I just wanted to be able to knock out a decent amount of books on my TBR and also just take a little bit of a breather from massive tomes. So we are back. I plan on reading this. And if I read 41 pages a day, I can finish this in April. So fingers crossed that happens. If it doesn't, that's okay. I want to at least make a good dent in this because I do want to be able to read Stormlight 5 in December or January after it comes out. And the prompt that I plan on using this for is Willow, which is read a fantasy novel. It's kind of hard to describe this book since this is book 3 in the Stormlight Archives, but we're going to continue to follow Dalinar and Kaladin and Shallan and just their journey in the Shattered Plains. And I'm really looking forward to it. There are some events that happened at the end of Words of Radiance that I'm curious to see what the implications for are in this book. And then lastly, one of the prompts is there's Buffy, which is read a book with a female protagonist or written by a female author. And there's The Young and the Restless, which is read a romance. I have lots of options for those prompts that I'm kind of playing around with. I'm not 100% sure what I want to read. So I want to read the new Abby Jimenez novel. I'm waiting to see if Book of the Month will put it out, but I know I haven't pre-ordered it, so because I've been waiting to see if Book of the Month will put it out. I also would like to read the Emily Henry new book, but I also have A Court of Mist and Fury. I have some fantasy romance novels I can fit. I've got plenty of romance novels that I can fit that prompt quite easily, so I don't know quite yet what I will read for that prompt. But like I said, those are my piles of possibilities. There's a lot there to choose from, which is awesome. I'm not saying that I'm going to get to all of them. I for sure want to make a good dent in Oathbringer. From there, I don't know. It just depends on what April will bring. It is the second to last month of school. So things are gearing up, and I've got 5 students who are seniors on my caseload. And so that means that before they graduate, by law, we meet to discuss, like, here's what we worked on while you were here at school. Here are the accommodations that you use at school. And then here's what you might need for accommodations for if you go have a job, if you go to school after college, what you might need to help you for like building social relationships after you leave high school, for independent living after you leave high school, and how to integrate in the community. That's a legal obligation that I need to do. So things I know will be busy in April and May as students are graduating. And it's also April is also standardized testing season. So SAT, PSAT, dealing with that. But that's what I plan on reading. What do you hope to get to in April? Are you doing any readathons? What are your thoughts? What should I prioritize? If you've read any of these books. And as always, please like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.